I'm going to read one conversation that I tried to have with some white women about Taylor Swift on Threads, because it's very key of what white women are doing right now and why black women don't trust us. So one white woman writes, Taylor Swift didn't inherit billions. She wasn't appointed to it. She didn't marry into it or trade stocks from a yacht at 22. She built it from scratch with nothing but a spiral notebook, a guitar, and the absolute audacity to be talented and a teenage girl in a male-dominated industry that wanted to eat her alive. We're only looking at misogyny now. We're not looking at race. Someone else comes to comment, I think when people say this, there's more of the comment. Scott Swift invested several $1,000s into Big Machine Records when she signed a deal with them instead of a major label. Big Machine was a startup at the time. Her rise to success made them all rich. People act like that's the only reason why she has her career. Anyone who has been following her knows why she has her career, because she's passionate about making music since she was 14 years old and works hard at it. Actually, since she was 12. Okay, I came back and responded, yes, except it was $120,000. Scott Swift didn't invest a few $1,000s. Scott Swift invested $120,000 in Taylor Swift getting her first record. Scott Swift bought the debut record, right? Him and Scott Borchetta basically made a music record company and put out her record. And yes, it was a great bet for all of them. I go on to say, she says, no, totally. I didn't know the exact amount, so I said several thousand because I knew it was less than $1 million. And I responded with, and this is why black women don't trust us. Because a huge part of her initial success, you gave us this nice little picture of this little girl with her guitar struggling so hard. A huge part of her success was that her white male dad, put his white male money into giving her success. And I say that as a white woman who got a major book deal from a major company. And I knew in my heart, and did that help me have a successful book? Absolutely. Yeah. And I knew in my heart I wouldn't have gotten that if I was a black woman, because my story would have been considered niche and not for everyone. And I have been working very hard since I got that money on that problem, right? Because that is not equal, that is not fair. But also, I don't try to act like I did it all by myself. I did a lot of stuff by myself before the book, but I had a huge amount of money invested in my art by Macmillan Books, and that's part of why I'm successful. And have I had to work every single day since then? Absolutely. But nobody is self-made, and the way they told that story had so much whiteness in it. And like I said, this is why black women don't trust us. Want to guess what her response was? Like I said, I didn't want to speculate on the number. I didn't know the exact amount. I thought it was closer to $300K, but you chose to say a couple $1,000s? This is why black women don't trust us. Unlike many people on the internet, I don't like to spread misinformation. I'm not sure what this has to do with black women, probably because you haven't been listening to them, not trusting white women. I've seen a lot of white women speaking for women of color the last few days, though, and I'm fairly certain I've seen some women of color I follow say they don't appreciate that. Maybe that's part of why they don't trust us. And I responded with, okay. Those were all choices that white women made in how they presented that story and how they defended it when they were called out on it. And that matters. How we tell the story matters. She's the most famous person on earth. She is a billionaire. And she deserves a lot of it. But her dad invested $120,000, wrote a check, in getting her start. And every time we don't talk about that, we're upholding white supremacy. Have a day, Swifties. Stickers attached.